Hello, dear friends and students. I wish to make you recall about the practical chemistry where we have discussed in our earlier video that how anions are grouped, and a little attention will make you recall that anions are grouped into three groups or three classes: group 1, group 2 and group 3. Now today we shall take up methods procedure for detecting and confirming anions in group 1. Now, before we get into the uh, method for finding out uh, anions and confirming it, we need to make certain initial preparations. And I will advise you to keep the following items or equipments or apparatus, whatever we call it, ready with you. Keep the following items ready before proceeding for the test of the anions in group 1 or class 1. Initially, we need a boiling tube with an attachment for testing the evolved gases. Look here. This type of tube is known as boiling tube, where there is an attachment, a tube in which reagent will be filled up, and when we heat it, the gas will pass through this reagent, and we will make out certain inferences. Particularly when we go through a test for carbonate, we'll use it. And then we need to prepare and keep ready the lead acetate paper. Lead acetate paper is used for sulfide ions, S2 negative. Potassium dichromate paper is used for detection and confirmation of sulfite ion, ITE. Similarly, starch iodide paper is the filter paper soaked in Ki plus the starch, and this is used for nitrite, ITE, NO2 negative. Now, अब ये सब पेपर कैसे बनता है? We know it. It's very simple. फिल्टर पेपर लीजिए और lead acetate पेपर से उसको गीला कर लीजिए and keep it separately. Similarly, potassium dichromate solution में फिल्टर पेपर अगर हम डिप करेंगे तो फिल्टर पेपर में पोटेशियम डाइक्रोमेट लग जाएगा और वो येलो कलर का होगा. That is known as dichromate paper. Similarly, starch iodide, a filter paper soaked in potassium iodide and starch, is known as starch iodide paper. तो ये टेस्ट करने के लिए, एनायंस के टेस्ट करने के लिए इतनी प्रारंभिक जरूरतें हैं जिनको कि हमें तैयार रखना पड़ेगा. Then next we proceed to different procedures for finding out anions. अब एक चीज ये है, we have carried out preliminary test, dry test. These preliminary tests provide only a hint about the presence of the certain ion in inorganic salt. But no conclusive or reliable results can be inferred with such test. एक अंदाज लग जाता है कि ये आयन है, लेकिन वो पक्का नहीं कह सकते. It is not a conclusion, or we can't say that it has been confirmed. तो इसके लिए हमको वेट टेस्ट करना पड़ता है, और वेट टेस्ट के लिए WET, wet test, we call it wet test, and we need to prepare a solution, normally in water, of the salt. Salt का solution water में बनाएंगे, and that is known as water extract. Most of the anions are soluble in water, and therefore this water extract has to be prepared. In short, we call it WE. Now let us proceed how to prepare water extract. Water extract is prepared by boiling 1 to 2 grams of the salt or mixture in 10 to 15 milliliter of water in a boiling tube. इस तरह से मिला करके हमने 1-2 ग्राम लिया और उसमें 10-15 मिलीलीटर वाटर डाल दिया और उसको गर्म किया. अगर वो डिजॉल्व हो गया, we say a solution is prepared, the water extract is ready. But sometimes we find some insolubles present in it. पूरा तो घुल गया, ज्यादातर घुल गया, लेकिन कुछ रह गया. Then we need to filter it and collect the filtrate that will serve as water extract. Now here is a test for and confirmation for carbonate. एक ही reagent है हर एक ग्रुप के लिए class 1 में, and that is either dilute HCl or sulfuric acid. Salt दिया roughly about 0.2 gram in a test tube, and add about 3 to 4 milliliters of HCl or sulfuric acid. If you find a colorless gas coming out with this effervescence, means there is an indication that carbonate is there, Ca2 present, or it is suspected. Then pass this gas immediately into the lime water. This lime water turns milky, and here is that test which we have already discussed. And here this mixture plus dilute sulfuric acid, the gas will pass through the reagent, and this reagent contains lime water. Now when you pass it, what happens that lime water is calcium hydroxide, which is a clear solution. But when the gas passes through lime water, you find that it turns milky. थोड़ी turbidity आ जाती है, सफेदी आ जाती है. That means carbonate is confirmed. And simultaneously, I will advise you to learn and go through the concerned equations also, or the reactions also. Well, here are the reactions. तो ये सब साथ ही साथ इसको रिएक्शन में भी हमको समझना पड़ेगा कि लाइम वाटर क्या होता है, ये कौन सी गैस बनी, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, एंड कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड रिएक्ट्स विद लाइम वाटर, it forms an insoluble calcium carbonate solid, and that makes it milky. Similarly, और भी टेस्ट इसी प्रकार से हैं जो कि हम करेंगे, and that is sulfide ion. Same process, but here you get a smell, a gas coming out with a bad smell like rotten eggs, and sulfide is suspected. Then lead acetate paper हमने बना के रखा हुआ है, हमने आपको समझाया, और उसके टेस्ट ट्यूब के मुंह के पास lead acetate paper लेंगे, it will confirm S die negative, 2 negative, and here are the reactions. और इस प्रकार से हम दूसरे कंपाउंड्स को भी हम टेस्ट करेंगे. Same here in this case of SO3 sulfite ion, you get a gas is suffocating odor, यानी वो सूंघने की इच्छा नहीं होती, उसे बहुत तेज गंध लगती है, like that burning sulfur, and that is known as suffocating odor. That gives us an idea of sulfide being present. Similarly, here lead पोटेशियम डाइक्रोमेट पेपर हमने तैयार करके रखा हुआ है. अगर जरूरत हुई तो we bring potassium dichromate paper near the mouth of the test tube, and the paper turns green. Look here. This image represents it. ये पोटेशियम डाइक्रोमेट पहले पीले रंग का था पेपर, और जब वो गैस के कांटेक्ट में आया, it turned green. So this confirms sulfide, and here are the reactions. तो ये reactions साथ ही साथ हमको समझना पड़ेगा, because Cr2O7 is dichromate ion, it forms tri-positive chromium ion, which is green in color. Similarly, subsequent test for nitrite, वही टेस्ट है, उसी प्रकार से है, but here you get a light brown gas. रंग से ही पता लग जाता है, but even then we need potassium iodide discharge paper, bring it close to the gas, but paper turns blue, and here is the reaction. और finally अगर हम देखें तो acetate ion भी हम इसी प्रकार से टेस्ट करते हैं, and here you get a colorless gas with a smell like vinegar. थोड़ा सा solution को या reactants को हम गर्म करेंगे, you get a gas which smells like vinegar, and that confirms acetate ion. Here are the reactions. It is because acetic acid is formed. Again, finally, one more anion is there, and that is, as you know, as 2O3, 2 negative. This is known as thiosulfate ion. Similar test, but here, what happens that you get a suffocating odor like that of SO3. In case of SO3 sulfite ion, we had a suffocating odor, gas coming out with a suffocating odor. But in this case, simultaneously at the mouth of the test tube, there is a deposit of sulfur. कुछ पीला पीला solid deposit हो जाता है, and that gives you an idea about the presence of thiosulfate ion. S2O3 is thiosulfate. Again, we bring a dichromate paper near the mouth of the test tube. The paper turns green and thiosulfate ion is confirmed. Here is the reaction. So this completes strictly the test for different detection and confirmation of different ions in group 1 or class 1, anions of course. And well, it is not the end. There are certain other specific tests of these ions. We shall take up a specific test for each ion separately, one by one, in our subsequent video. We shall take up a specific test for these ions separately in our next video. Please keep watching and subscribe. Thank you. Many thanks. Please do subscribe.